What to do, ugly dude? It's the Filmmaster here. I've done recorded this video probably like 4 different times. I can either keep leaving out details or some kind of loud noise happens in my house and it fucks the whole video up, fucks up my flow. Alright, so let's just jump right into it. Hopefully it goes right. So this is the story about how I got jumped by hobos. So I was about 15 at the time. Me and T Mac wasn't really chilling. It wasn't no like beef, nothing like that. We was just on two different life paths. He was doing his thing, I was doing my thing. You know how it goes. However, he introduced me to a family friend of his, and we're gonna call him Dan because he didn't want me to use his real name for the video. Now, Dan was a wild motherfucker, and he had a little bit of alcohol problem, but he was a plug, and he was a real homie. I can't fucking lie, but so not the point. So Dan's that fucking guy. So um it was summer vacation, and I was like 15, and like I said, me and T Mac wasn't really chilling, and my dad didn't really care what I was doing, or as long as he knew where I was at and I called him make sure I was okay, he would ask no questions. So my Dan had an apartment of his own, and it was really close to this park we like to chill at called Woodland. So I'm talking about maybe like a 2-minute walk, like that's how close. So we was just chilling at Woodland one night, and it's like a little bit like a woodsy area, and there's a skate park there, and everybody chills there. But around 12 a.m., usually everybody bounces except for some local homeless population that stays there. So we know most of them, and we're just like walking through. And we had this plastic fifth of Captain Morgan when this chick is running in the distance towards us, screaming, "Help me! Help me! He's gonna kill me! Help me! Help me!" And there's like a dude chasing her. We can like see him, like it's dark as fuck, but like the street lights are still out. Like resonated light is like in the area. So this girl is running towards us, and this dude chasing her. So she runs towards us. She's probably like at least 20 feet ahead of him, so he's got some time before he gets to us. So me and Dan have time to prepare ourselves. So I get ready. I'm 15 years old. I'm scrawny as hell. I weigh about 90 pounds, soaking fucking wet. But hey, I'm willing to throw down. So this dude comes running, and before I could do anything or even think about doing anything, fucking Dan hits him with a fucking $2 for $5 meal at fucking rallies and fucking dings him up with the fucking chicken sandwich, burger, and fry. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, and probably gave him a little bit of smoothie at the end to finish him off because he hit the fucking ground hard as shit. So Dan hits the fucking, no, I'm sorry, not Dan. Jason hits the fucking ground. He's screaming, "That's my baby mama. Why are you talking to her? This, and that." And we're like, "Why are we talking to her?" First of all, bro, she ran to us screaming, "You're gonna kill her." You're chasing this woman in this dark, secluded park at like 12 o'clock at night, running towards us with a grimace on your face. So we start arguing with this dude back and forth. I can't remember really what was said, but we was arguing. Basically, this chick's name was Tabitha, and she was Jason's baby mom. And Dan at the time, like I said, in an apartment, he's like, "Hey, I have an apartment like 2 minutes down the road. If you don't want to stay here at this guy tonight, I understand. If you want to come back to my apartment and hang out with us, you're more than welcome to." And this was at times you could trust people because people are mostly psychos nowadays. So Tabitha was like, "Yes, I would love that. I don't want to stay out here with him. We're from Texas. If I didn't mention that already, I'm uncomfortable. Like, yes, please." So Tabitha comes back with us, and we ended up just drinking that night, taking some dabs, smoking weed, listening to music. Girl was really cool. I have no complaints about Tabitha. I have another story where we ended up kind of fucking her over in a way, but that's another story. So Tabitha ended up chilling with Dan for like maybe 2 to 3 weeks. I mean, maybe a fucking month to be honest. Like every fucking day, like stayed at his apartment and shit. He was probably clapping. I can't fucking lie. But we would walk around town and we would see Jason because I live in a big town, but it's not a big enough town where you fucking, if you move to one side of the town and then you go to a shop in the other or here and there, you could probably run into somebody. So we would see Jason all around town, and like we would get into like not really scuffles, but like arguments because, you know, he was walking with his baby mom. He would say, like, you fucking her, you know, this type of shit, bro. But it never really seemed like it was going to lead to another altercation because it seemed like Jason would always run away before it got to that. So one day, we was just chilling at the park, and it was me, Tabitha, Dan, and this dude named Micah. Fuck Micah. We'll get into that later. And Micah had this fucking strap that he just bought, and he was like this young ginger white kid. It wasn't like illegal or nothing like that. He was just saying he bought it, but I guess he was just like trying to flex. And Tabitha's drunk ass was like, "Can I hold that?" She had a handle of Tito's. I don't know how she was getting money. She was homeless. But anyways, she had a handle of Tito's. To be honest, Dan probably bought it for her because he was that type of guy, but not the point. Oh, fucking. So Micah hands her the strap. I immediately thought that was a bad idea because of how intoxicated Tabitha was, and she immediately just let one release in the fucking air. So we was all like, "What the fuck, Tabitha? What is your fucking problem?" So we immediately snatched it from her. She was just laughing like a crazy person. So I guess that probably brought out some of the local homeless population, and they came to see what was going on. And among those was Jason. So Jason's walking with some homeless dudes, and I'd say it was probably like maybe 5 or 6 of them. And they start walking over, and I'm like, "Hey, there's Jason. You know, just be on the lookout." And Dan's like, "Yeah, I see him." And Tabitha's like, "Hey, I'm gonna go get some McDonald's. If y'all want anything?" We was like, "No, I'm fine." And so she getting the fuck out of there. She just drunkenly walks down to McDonald's, or I guess, like, where the fuck she went. She might have set us up, but I don't think she really did. She didn't have a phone, and the gunshot brought the homeless people. Not the point. So Jason comes over, and we're like, there was like times like Jason and Dan would be completely cool, and they would just talk like they were fucking homies. And then there's other points they seemed like they was about to fucking kill each other, but Jason would always run away. And it was like one of those times that he was just being really friendly. And like these homeless dudes, like, you know, just gather around like they normally do. And there's quite a few homeless dudes, people that stay at this park, so it wasn't nothing out of the ordinary. It's late at night, you know what I mean? They done turned the lights out at the park, but the local skaters would break the lock on the light box and put the light back on. So we're talking to Jason, and nothing escalated. You know, we just kind of seemed like we were chilling. So me and Dan, we start walking off, and I believe he was going back towards his apartment when this big ass, I'd say at least 6'5", probably 250 pound. He wasn't swole, he wasn't fat. Homeless dude just like comes up, and it was like one of the homeless dudes I was walking with, Jason, and he just starts like bitching incoherently at us. And uh, me and Dan were like sitting on this little bench when he came up. We just stopped, so he was like over top of us. So Dan was like, "Hey, bro, back the fuck up." And I immediately like started getting like on edge and ready because, like I said earlier, I'm 90 pounds soaking wet at the time, 15, little as hell. I can't be fucking scrapping no big ass dude like this. You know what I mean? I would do my best, but I was a little uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie. So dude stepped back a little bit, and he did the universal sign of pulling up his pants. I mean, this is literally out of nowhere. So Dan gets up, and it's at this point, you know, I'm about my homies, bro. So I mean, I don't give a fuck how little I am. You're gonna get jumped, bro. We're finna scrap, bro. Like, no matter what. So I immediately, before Dan could do anything, I go to hit this dude with my skateboard. As I'm gonna hit him in the face, someone grabs it as I bring it over my head, like pulls it. Like, I hold on to my skateboard, and I turn around, and it's Jason. So before I could even do anything, I just fucking hold my skateboard one hand. He's holding it. I just boom, hit him in the side of the face with the other hand. He lets go of the skateboard. And Dan's already mopping the dude behind me. He's just hitting him. And he's a big dude. He ain't going down. He's, you know, he's not mopping him, but they're getting into it. You know what I mean? And Dan's got hands, so I'm not really worried about Dan. And I could tell, I mean, Jason was, I'm young, but I've been in a couple fights at this point, and it was no big deal to me. I knew I had Jason. And so me and Jason are going at it when he yells something. So As I look over to my right, 3 more homeless dudes. They coming out the way, like out of the darkness of the park, and they're walking our way. 2 of them split towards Dan. Jason split towards Dan. And this one fat ass old fucking drunk homeless dude comes walking towards me. So I'm a wild motherfucker, bro. And I'm not one of those people that's gonna stay and fight you in one spot, bro. I'm gonna run around, fucking move around. I'm in an open park, bro. I'm not letting you catch me lacking. I'm gonna stay moving. So I'm moving around this old homeless dude, and I'm just fucking dinking him as hard as I fucking can. I mean, I probably tagged him at least 10 fucking times. When I guess I got sloppy, and he fucking grabbed me, and he just fucking like just yanked me, bro. He's a big old fat motherfucker. So he grabbed me in like a bear hug position, and he just started squeezing. And like I said earlier, I'm little as hell. So that once the motherfucker got around me like that, I knew I was fucked, so I started doing the best I can. Like my hands was above my head, wiggled him up there. I'm trying to hit him in the face and shit, and he's just squeezing the life out of me. Now the more I fucking wiggled, it's like the tighter his fucking grip got. And I just like I heard like a voice in my head. I don't know if it was my voice, someone else's, but he held me for like 3 minutes, dude, at least, because like I know I started blacking out because I couldn't fucking breathe. He was squeezing me so fucking hard, and I'm just trying my best to hit him in the face, and it's just not working, bro. I mean, I can feel it, but my hits are getting weaker. I hear someone in my head go, like, just say like, just like loosen up, and my body automatically just like loosened up. I don't know how to explain it. I just loosened up, and I kind of just like slid down a little bit, and once I slid down, I just fucking pulled myself. I guess I had adrenaline pumping. I had a second wind, got some air, and I slid out between this fat motherfucker's arms. And as soon as I got out, bro, I mean, I just fucking started going to town on him. His face was leaking, and he was like, he backed up. He was like, I'm done. I'm sorry. I'm done. Before I could even worry about him, I just started running over to Dan because he was getting jumped by Jason, and he was on top of him, pulling his fucking dreads, hitting him in the face, and the other 2 homeless dudes was hitting him. So as I looked up, I just fucking started running over. I immediately ran over and just jumped and hit one of them in the side of my fucking knee, flying knee to the fucking back. Fucking just started dinking him. Them 2 backed up, and I was more worried about, like, I was watching them, and they just backed up, and like, I don't know, they just fucking like backed up after that point. And Jason was on top of Dan, just hitting him in the face, and I could feel Dan's fucking dreads ripping out of his head. I mean, I could hear the shit just like ripping out of his fucking skull. So I fucking run, just kick Dan. No, I'm sorry, not Dan. Jason, right in the side of his fucking face as hard as I fucking could. And my foot like came down and like hit the ground. Jason rolled off Dan and just grabbed Dan, and I pulled him up as hard as I fucking could and backed up, and he was like on my shoulder. I was basically carrying him. He's probably like 130 pounds. I guess my adrenaline was pumping, you know, I was little as shit. And carried him out to the fucking road. And I looked over and a cop drove by. I didn't even say nothing. We were all bloody and dirty, and it was like just rain the day before. It was fucking disgusting outside. And Jason was like bleeding all out the side of his eyebrow. Like Dan was bleeding on his face. Like everybody was fucking bleeding. I was bleeding. And so I just grabbed Dan, and like we started yelling at each other, and all the homeless dudes fucking split when they seen the fucking cop. And Jason's yelling in the darkness, bro, like in the woods, like we could see him. And me and Dan are right there. And we decided, you know, that cop drove by, he may turn around, so we just decided to split. So we went back to his apartment, we get all cleaned up, and, you know, we just start talking about the crazy shit that was. And so as I started thinking, we get back, I was like, fucking Micah, dude. He was with us, like, when them homeless dudes like, came up. Like, what the fuck, where did Micah go? Apparently, Micah fucking screamed when he seen me getting the life squeezed out of me. He admitted to it at the park the next day. He was this young ass fucking ginger kid, and me or Dan couldn't bring the heart to beat his fucking ass. But the moment he seen us getting jumped, he fucking screamed, even though he had a strap on him and he could have shot in the air or something, you know what I mean, to prevent this. Because we hung out this dude a lot, but he didn't. So that's that. Anyways, I appreciate y'all. A little bit of a longer story today. But you know, kind of had to do that. So, anyways, appreciate y'all. Like and peace.